Welcome to Force Talk, the Star Wars show talking anything Star Wars. May the Force be with you, my Padawan learners. Star Wars Episode 8 is going to be the first Star Wars movie that takes place immediately after its predecessor. In other words, there's not going to be the time jump that we're used to in between chapters. Daisy Ridley essentially already confirmed this, but to be honest, I've always thought this was going to be the case. Because when you watch The Force Awakens, it's kind of the only way they can go. You simply can't leave the audience hanging the way they did. The whole movie was about leading up to finding Luke, and they leave it off where our new hero meets our favorite old hero, and they have to show us the next line of dialogue. A lot of people will point out that The Empire Strikes Back ends on a huge cliffhanger as well. So why does Episode 8 need to start right after The Force Awakens, but Return of the Jedi didn't need to start right after The Empire Strikes Back? Well, that's because they're completely different situations. Even though Darth Vader being Luke's father is one of the best reveals of all time, that scene is nicely wrapped up. We don't exactly need to see what happens in the very next scene. We can guess what's going to happen and we're excited what's going to happen. But for Episode 8, we need to see exactly what happens next. Because in The Force Awakens, the movie ends in the middle of a scene. The scene is not complete. It's not a matter of, oh, that's interesting, I'm excited to see what happens next. It's more like, wait, what? You just show me Luke, what's he gonna say? You just took Han away from me, what's Luke gonna say? Now, the biggest reason some people think that Episode 8 can't start right after Episode 7 is because they think, how are you gonna have the opening crawl if nothing has happened for them to update us on? Are they just gonna cut out the crawl? No, of course they're not gonna cut out the crawl. There's a few things you have to remember for the crawl going into Episode 8. 1. It doesn't take Rey 1 second to get to the mystery planet Luke is on. The Force Awakens might have made it seem like you can travel through hyperspace just like that, but it still takes a long time, which means that all the other characters we've seen have been up to other things while she's traveling there. 2. Just because Episode 8 starts right after The Force Awakens doesn't mean that the first scene of the movie needs to be Rey and Luke. 3. Let's remember that the crawl isn't that long and you can word it in a lot of different ways. I could see it starting something like, the galaxy is in chaos after the destruction of the Republic by the sinister First Order. And then they might allude to Kylo training with Snoke and Rey training with Luke. And then they get into the overarching story, whatever Finn is doing and Poe. And maybe the First Order's trying to hunt down all Resistance people until they finally found Skywalker. Obviously, the crawl is going to be a lot more detailed and a lot better than that. But I guess my point is, it's 3 short paragraphs, and I think it's pretty easy for them to find the balance between telling us what's already happened and what's about to happen. Another important thing to remember about Star Wars is that they always start in space. While I fully believe that Episode 8 is going to break the tradition of the time jump, I don't think they'll break this one, which is why I don't think the movie will start with Luke and Rey. It could start with Poe Dameron on another mission, it could start with General Hux going to a new First Order base, or it could be brand new characters we've never seen before. But personally, there's one opening that I have in mind that I think would be really effective. Personally, for me, nothing ever beats the opening of A New Hope, with the Star Destroyer just taking up almost the entire frame. With one shot, it immediately shows you how threatening the evil is in this universe and what a daunting task it's going to be to go up against it. Which is why I'd like the opening for Episode 8 to be Kylo Ren arriving at whatever planet Supreme Leader Snoke is in hiding on. It was a good choice to have Snoke and Luke be background characters in The Force Awakens, but the teasing is up now. Now we want to see them. And I think if you open the movie showing us the threat of Snoke and Ren together, that immediately sets the stakes for our characters, and once we finally get to Rey and Luke, that makes it feel like a more daunting task. It makes it feel like, okay, get training, ASAP, because you know Kylo Ren is going to be one pissed off guy after losing to Rey, and he's going to be training hard to become more powerful. Ultimately, I think not having a time jump in Episode 8 is a really smart decision, and it gives me confidence that Rian Johnson and the Episode 8 team are going to try to do something different. They're not going to be afraid to take risks. I enjoyed The Force Awakens, but like a lot of people, I felt like it was way too safe in a lot of places. They didn't really take risks. It was kind of like a store-bought dessert. It's still pretty good, and you're going to enjoy it, but if you made it homemade, it could have been delicious. So, what do you guys think of the possibility of there not being a time jump for episode 8? Would you rather them keep with tradition? Either way, let me know what you think the opening scene of episode 8 is going to be. I'd love to hear some theories. Comment below and let me know, and if you like this video, click like. As always, thanks for watching this episode of Force Talk, and until next time, see you later.